Hey, and welcome to my channel. I make videos about veganism, minimalism and self-improvement. If you're interested in any of these topics, make sure to subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Today's video is gonna be about 5 things I wish I knew before going vegan. I've been vegan for almost 3 years now, and I think the beginning would have been so much easier if I knew these things, so therefore I decided to tell you, so you will not have to struggle as much as I did. Let's start with the first one. The beginning is gonna be the hardest. Now, let's be honest here. Any major life transition is gonna be hard. It doesn't matter if it's a dietary change or something completely different. The beginning is gonna suck, and it's just something that you need to get over. Because in veganism, there are like 3 things that really sucked for me. First, physical changes. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, in the beginning, I suffered from like really bad bloating. And I know I'm not the only one, like a lot of vegans experience this. And this is mainly due to the lack of fiber you were eating when you weren't vegan, because the body is not used to that much fiber in the vegan diet and therefore doesn't really know what to do with it. And the bloating can take up some time. I'm not really sure how long it was for me, but maybe 6 months. It was a quite big chunk of time, but it stopped. My body is now used to the amount of fiber that it gets, and if I would suggest something, maybe in the beginning of the vegan diet we are all really looking forward to eating healthy and like cutting down meat and dairy and eggs and getting like all the veggies, everything's fine, but if I may suggest, take it slow. In the beginning, maybe don't eat such high fiber foods and gradually increase them so that you do not get that bloating. Another thing that wasn't so great about the beginning was the social aspect. Veganism is still not really that popular, and therefore a lot of people do not understand or do not want to understand why you would choose to restrict your diet in that sort of sense. And you will get some negative comments and maybe some jokes that are not that funny to you, and that is something that will pass. Especially your friends and your family will get used to the fact that you are now vegan, and they will most likely support you. So the thing that sucked most for me in the beginning was that I didn't know what I could eat. And I really hate to admit that, but I didn't find out until later that the term may contain does not mean that it is not vegan, and therefore my beginning was awful. I could not eat anything because basically every product on earth has the label may contain, and I wondered, how could vegans do this? They cannot eat anything. But then I found out that the term may contain does not mean that it is not vegan. Rather, it means that in the same factory that this product is produced, there's some other products produced that also contain that ingredient, and there could be some cross-termination with the product that you're eating, which is a hint for people with allergies and has nothing to do with the ingredients actually in the product. So you're good to go. Also, you're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be so frustrated because everything you used to eat, you're gonna look at, and let me tell you, your worst enemy is gonna be milk powder, because it is in everything. Things you do not expect milk powder to be there. There is no need for there to be milk powder in it, but there is, and there is gonna be a lot of frustration. But that's gonna go away because you will soon be accustomed to what you can eat, and there will be no doubt in your mind that this might be vegan and this will not. So the second thing I wish I knew before going vegan is that it will get easier. We humans are designed to adjust to basically every situation, and it takes only 66 days to form a new habit. Therefore, if you can stick to it for 66 days, it becomes natural, and you will not even have to think about it anymore. Also, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let me promise you something. You will not miss cheese. And I know what I'm talking about. I was the biggest cheese lover. Really, I was one of those people that always said, I could never be vegan, I love cheese too much. And now look at me. Honestly, I really don't crave cheese anymore. And on the really rare occasion that I do, I just eat the vegan substitute. Because, of course, it doesn't taste the same, but it gets the job done. And I would have never thought that myself. But it is possible. Living without cheese is possible. Third thing I wish I knew before going vegan is that vegan doesn't have to be healthier. And I know a lot of vegans don't want you to know this, but if you were eating really healthy before, and then you were becoming vegan and only eating pizza and burgers and fries and junk food, then you're not gonna be healthier. You're not gonna even be healthy. So, just so you know, vegan can be really healthy if you're doing it right. So therefore you will have to put a lot of thought and time into looking up certain things, like nutrition, in the beginning. You will have to find out what your body needs and where you can get it from. Basically everything you can get from a non-vegan diet, you can get vegan. Except, I knew you were waiting for that, B12. But for B12 you can just take a supplement. You have to take it once a day. Or if you're like me and you're really bad at supplementing and you forget all the time, just take a vitamin B12 toothpaste and you will be good. Also, I will make a video about B12 because there's just so much to say about it and that would totally be too long for this video. So let's just leave it at that. Fourth thing I wish I knew before going vegan is that there will be screw-ups. It's as simple as that. You will go to a restaurant and they will give you something that you didn't order, or they might don't know what vegan is and they will give you something with butter. It will happen. The damage has been done at that point and you will have to decide how to go further from that point. But it doesn't really help for you to beat yourself up about it. Just move on, learn from it and do better the next time. Also, I know when I started out, the first couple of months, I would bring products home just to read them again, I mean the ingredient list, and I would see, oh, I must have overread that, because you're not used to reading labels and you're maybe in a hurry and you miss certain ingredients, and therefore the product you just bought is not vegan. Especially with honey, because honey is not an allergen and therefore it doesn't have to be printed in bold letters. It is really easy to miss that. You move on and you learn from it. That's all I can say. But that's not all. There will be certain ingredients and products you will not even think about that they're not vegan. I will make another video about that, but just so you know, veganism doesn't only mean cutting out meat, eggs and dairy. There is a lot more to it that you would not think about, that there might not actually be vegan. The fifth thing I wish I knew before going vegan is that there might be an angry face. I know not every vegan will have this, but I know I sure did. And that is the phase where you just starting out veganism and you're so understanding why the world is still doing this. You just figured out what harm it costs for there to be a steak on your plate. And you're wondering, why is nobody talking about this? You're wondering, my parents now know I told them, why are they continue to eat meat? And you will get angry. You will get frustrated. And that is not the way to go. My advice for that would be, just try to keep this phase as short as possible, because you will not be happy, no one will want to be around you, and it is not helping anyone. It is not even helping the animals, because what you're doing when you're angry and frustrated with people, you're pushing them away. No one will listen to you if you're angry and frustrated. That doesn't make veganism sound appealing, does it? So try to keep the period short, sweet, and if you really want to make a change, start leading by example. If someone is curious, they will ask you, tell them in a nice way, and don't force your views on somebody, because no one will want to be forced to become vegan. There is something that has to click in your brain so you become vegan. It will not help if you tell them in an aggressive way. Therefore, yes, I've gone through the angry phase, and I'm calling that because I've heard another YouTuber call it that, and I found it really soothing. And you will be angry, you will be frustrated. Just don't dwell on it. With that, I want you to leave a comment down below. If you're vegan, what is something that you wished you knew before going vegan? And if you're not vegan, what is something you would like to know before starting your journey? What do you think will help you become vegan? If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I see you next time. Bye!